Good morning. Well, it's mid-September now at the allotment, and I just thought I would give you a little update on how everything is doing here, coming to the end of the summer season, and everything's quieting down quite a lot. Even got an empty border or two, so I'll take you on a quick tour around all the borders and we'll see what's happening. This is my favourite border. It's still in full bloom, if you like. The only one that really is now. Absolutely love it. It's just a right of colour and prettiness. What the main crop in here is my New Zealand yams, or ochre. That's this one that you can see with the little yellow flowers. It's doing fantastically. I put it in a while ago now, and I was worried about it when I put it in because it was I'd grown it in pots and it had become very leggy, and I put it in very late because I didn't have the space for it. But I trimmed it all back, got it in the ground, and it's doing beautifully now. This will be ready to harvest about 3 weeks after the first frost. And in between the ochre, I've got all this borage that has just self-seeded and come up, and I've just left it because it's so pretty for a start, and the bees love it. And I've also got marigolds still blooming away. They've just gone all year. And I've also got, if you can see the dark red in the border, that is red spinach, or orach, I don't know how you say it. I'm leaving that to go to seed, and I'm going to collect some seed from that. It is flowering now. That's just so pretty as well. To be honest, I haven't really harvested much of it, just left it there for the aesthetic value. And while we're here, I'll show you the apple tree. This has been in about 3 years. It's definitely its third year. It's pretty slow to come on. It's a Cox's Orange Pippin. It's a dwarf variety, but it has got fruit on it. However, unfortunately, some little bird has found that they really like these, and they are pecking. Almost everyone's got proper little pecks in them, and the apples aren't quite ready, so there's no point in picking them. I might just have to sacrifice these apples to the birds. I'm not too worried about it. There's only half a dozen. And then across on this side, I'll show you the plums. And this is me Victoria plum tree. It's huge, and this is supposed to be a dwarf one as well, so I don't think this is a dwarf plum. Anyway, the plums, I haven't managed to get around to looking this up to see what's wrong with them, but if you have a little look, all the fruit is tiny for a start. You know, Victoria plums are supposed to be big, and they've all got this kind of rustiness all over the skin. We have tried one that was ripe, and it tasted fine actually. Just wondering if this one's ripe enough to pick. It is quite soft. I'm going to try it. It's got this rusty stuff on the skin which makes them very unattractive. It's still a bit crunchy, but actually tastes alright. This is the second border. If you saw last week's video, you saw me planting this out with the leeks. They're doing fine. They haven't been here for long. They're just putting their roots down, getting established, but I'm sure they'll be alright. Yeah, good. I'm happy with this. And this one is the strawberry bed. Nothing to say about that. It has still got flowers on it, mine, but you know, I'm not going to get anything now. I've got to get on top of these strawberries. I pulled some of the runners out yesterday, but I really need to get in and sort it. I don't know, it's just one of those things at the allotment I can never seem to get a handle on. It's this strawberry bed. This year though, I'm going to do it. This is my purple sprouting broccoli. I'm really happy with this. It struggled terribly when I first put it in. I had it netted, and it was just getting hammered by the slugs all the time. Eventually I took the netting off, and I found, I can't remember how many, loads of those massive beige slugs, and I got rid of them all and took the net off, and ever since then, well, it's glorious. Yeah, so really happy about this. I've actually had 2 of these broccoli's given me a crop already, which I was a bit surprised at because I thought it was like a late winter spring thing. But anyway, that's nice to have 2 of them. I just took all the side shoots off yesterday for a second crop from them, and there's still some more on there, so I will have some of that later, and that'll be quite nice because the rest will crop later on. I like that when it's staggered, so you don't get everything at once. Yeah, but very healthy, very happy with them. Well, I wish I could say the same for the Swedes. They're awful, just awful. Ever since day one, they've just been eaten alive. I put the wool collars round, but honestly, I thought I'd found a fantastic solution. I really can't see that they seem to work that well. I mean, maybe they would have been dead and eaten to the nub if I hadn't put them on, who can say. But yeah, they look awful, but they are hanging on by their fingernails, so you never know. I'll maybe get some Swedes out of them. These Calets are doing fantastically. Talk about a vigorous plant. This is my other bed of Swedes again. It's not as bad as that border, but yeah, just a lot of pest damage. I have got some sprouts in here, and I think I've got some cabbages in. Some of it looks like bird damage, but most of it's slug damage. It seems to be those great big beige ones, which Kenny reckons they're an invasive species from Spain. So I don't know, maybe normal slug treatments don't work. This is the lovely big trough that Kenny made for me at the beginning of the season, and I put 2 squash plants in here. Well, I thought they were uchikikuri. What has dawned on me after quite a while is that they were originally uchikikuri, but I've saved the seed for about the past 2 or 3 years, and it is no longer uchikikuri. There's obviously been a lot of cross-pollination going on, and I just seem to have quite standard looking pumpkins. We'll have to see what they taste like, but I think I'll have to be buying myself some new seed this year. I'm very pleased with how this trough's worked. I have only gotten 3 fruit off it, but they are big ones, so you know that's all right by me, as long as they taste all right. We'll have to see. And also, as an experiment, I've been quite interested to see that these have been self-supporting. I just decided I wasn't going to put any kind of support around these pumpkins that are hanging through, basically because it was too awkward to get round the back of this fence here where they've grown through. So I've just let them hang on their own stalks, and I mean, they're big, they're about that size, and they're just hanging there fine. So that's quite interesting to note. I just hope they don't at the last minute fall off and smash. I'll be devastated. Well, there you go, there's a nice big empty border. That was what my potatoes were in. That got blight last week, which I dug all up. We've given that a good couple of digs over to make sure I've got all the potatoes out, because I'm a bit sick of getting all these volunteers everywhere, all over the allotment. Anyway, that's all dug up. I'm waiting for my onion sets to come now in the post. I'm going to put compost on that, and then that'll be getting replanted already, which is quite amazing. And then that next border is the runner beans. So the runner beans are pretty much done now. Well, they are done. We're just waiting for them to dry out and pick them, and we save the beans from inside. We've got quite a good little stash already, and there's plenty more to come. I was disappointed because half of the fence, the plants didn't really thrive. We got overgrown by volunteer potatoes, if you recall. So those ones we haven't got much there. Next year I've got big plans, and I have masses of runner beans. What I've had off these is I've had the usual scarlet emperor beans, which are lovely purple and black. I had a white variety, I've forgotten the name, which are beautiful. They look like lovely white butter beans. And then the dwarf ones, which I don't know whether you can see, which are in front here, were like a pack which had red, like a peachy colour, and white ones in, and they are like a nice speckled. They're white with a little speckle on. They're like lovely little mini eggs or something. I love them. I just think they're so tasty and delicious, and it's lovely to keep dry beans in a jar all winter, and you just keep getting them out when you're making a pot of soup or whatever. And I just think they look nice as well. And they're so decorative all through the season with all the lovely flowers on, grown up so tall. Yeah, but a success. We're just waiting to pick these now. And the next border along, this is like a winter border now. I've got leeks in again. I'm going to have so many leeks this year. These were put in a while ago and they're doing lovely actually. Really coming on nicely. I've multi-sown them, so there's like 2 or 3 in each clump, but they're starting to thrive, and I've got a nice row of sprouts there in the middle. I haven't really grown sprouts before, so I don't really know if I've put them in too late, but I'm hoping we'll get some nice sprouts on Christmas Day. I am the only one who likes sprouts, mind. I love them, everybody else hates them. Anyway, if it works, I'll have loads. I'll be having sprouts every day. This is the second last border. This is one of my raised beds. I've got a couple of volunteer ochre plants in here. 2 last courgette plants, they could come out now, they're finished. But this is the border. Last week, if you remember, I planted some seeds in here. I put chard and perpetual spinach and also some spring onions. Actually, I see the spring onions are grown as well. But yeah, they've all started to sprout, so I'm really happy about that. Fingers crossed that they will come up a good bit and sit all winter, provided we don't get too harsh a winter. And this is the last one. It's a bit of a mess really, but actually it's not doing too bad. Around the edges I've got lots of cherry tomatoes. They have got blight, but they're ripening actually and doing alright. I'm just leaving them, I can't be bothered now. Had so much trouble with the tomatoes at home. All the ones I picked from my main border that I had them all in, I'm getting only a handful. As I'm leaving them to ripen, they're getting blight as they ripen, so they're mostly going in the bin. I've had a couple of handfuls. We're all a bit disheartening all in all. And I've got some nice beetroot that I planted late. Whether I'll get anything off that, I don't know. Again, failed with the beetroot. I'm basically just a hopeless gardener sometimes, I think. This is my little celery that I planted. I'm just going to wait until I think it's finished growing and then cut the whole lot off. And I just put it in a bag and freeze it, and I'm just going to use it for flavouring soups, you know, making stock and things. We've got a nice big bunch of sorrel, but this border again is one that needs a big overhaul. I had a massive bunch of chives there until the other day, but honestly we don't eat that many chives, and although they're very pretty and very vigorous, they were taking up too much room, so I've cut them right back just to that little bunch in the corner. I'm just going to keep it at that. I'm going to cut the sorrel right back to one bunch as well for next year. This is already making me plans. Let me see if I can get this border a little bit more organised. Well, I hope you've enjoyed coming around the allotment with me in this mid-September day. It's still nice and warm, nice and sunny, so there's still a chance for things to keep growing a little bit more until all the cold sets in. Lots of crops still to come. I've got all this ochre, leeks, cabbages, sprouts, swedes, broccoli. Still plenty, isn't there? That's been one of my aims this year, to try and keep the allotment going over the winter to a much greater degree. And if the stuff I've got in will grow and not get eaten by critters, then I should succeed at that. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.